What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm out here walking again. So hopefully the wind, it's another very windy day. Hopefully the wind's not too terrible for this mic. Today what I'm talking about is Trenbolone's Wingman. If you know, I was actually thinking about abandoning my current cycle about a week ago. I was feeling miserable, and I feel fucking phenomenal today. And I attribute the substantial improvement in my mood to the use of a drug called Cabergoline, Cabergoline, however you pronounce that. For those of you who don't know, Caber will lower your prolactin levels. This drug is designed, if I remember correctly, to treat a condition called prolactinemia, which is basically an out of control, it's like a tumor or a cyst, some kind of growth that causes your body to produce an excessive amount of prolactin. And for whatever reason, that shit makes me feel miserable. So I wasn't expecting to have to get into the Caber so soon, but it's also anecdotally suggested that anadrol can antagonize the release of prolactin. So since I had already been on 350 milligrams per week, 50 milligrams per day, is that right? That's math. If I was already on a reasonable amount of anadrol leading up to the addition of the 100 milligrams of Tren, and so I decided to go ahead and throw in the Caber just to see if that would shore things up. And I am now 2 doses into the Caber dose, and I feel substantially better. Like, I can't even tell you how much better I feel. My diet is improving. Now, for full transparency, the Primo is also getting out of my system, and I was having some pretty bad reactions to the Primo. Obviously, scientifically, I can't say for certain that wasn't negatively affecting my diet or any other, who knows what else, because I was getting some pretty bad inflammation from those pins. But the kind of relief that I'm experiencing since I got the Caber back in my system is 100% consistent with every other time that I've used Caber. I was a holdout on Caber, as I know many of you are. For one, it's not easy to source. I did, however, end up getting pharma-grade Caber, but it's expensive. And so it can be difficult to source. And a lot of people are scared of it because it kind of has a bad reputation. So there's a lot of talk about Caber causing left ventricular hypertrophy, which, I mean, hello. I'm in the left ventricular hypertrophy fan club, because basically everything I put into my body can cause that particular condition. People say that Caber can be harsh on the system. I just want you to know, from me personally, obviously I'm not speaking for everybody because everybody's body is different, I experienced 0 negative effects from the Caber. I love it. I have run Caber for a year straight. When I'm running Tren, I'm running Caber. If I'm running a low dose of Tren, then I will use Cabergoline at 1/4 milligram per week. As the dose of Tren, or in this case anadrol, goes up, I am now running Caber at 1/4 milligram every 5 days. So far, that seems to be working for the most part. My nipples are looking better again today, although I'm not positive that it's going to be enough. We'll just see. But for those of you who have run Tren, who are thinking about running Tren, and even more importantly for what I think is about to happen in this current cycle, if you are running DECA or MPP, Caber is definitely something, not medical advice, anecdotal, idiot bro advice, that you should take a look at. Because what I tried to do previous to getting a hold of the Caber is I tried to use a drug that my doctor was giving me for restless leg syndrome called Repinarole, which is also a dopamine agonist. I believe I think they're D3 dopamine agonists, not like Adderall. I had somebody ask me about that in the comment section. No, Adderall will not work. And so they reduce prolactin in the system. The Repinarole, however, came with fucking horrible side effects. I felt miserable on that shit. Lots of nausea, vomiting occasionally. I would have to take the Repinarole right before bed so that the majority of the effects would wear off while I was asleep. It led to some compulsive behaviors. I've talked a little bit about this on my channel. And so I was very, reticent, I was very scared to try Cabergoline because it's a very long-acting drug. Like I said, you only have to take it once every 5 to 7 days. And so when you're dealing with a long-acting drug, while that's good from the point of view that you don't have to be popping a pill every day, it's bad from the perspective that if you have a negative reaction, it will not subside overnight. And I was very scared to take the Caber the first time. But as I said, I have had 0 negative effects from it. So I'm planning on running Trenbolone for an extended period of time. Again, this time, I'm gonna be blasting at levels of at least 100 milligrams and then probably dropping back down to cruises of around 50 milligrams. And so I suspect that I will be running the Caber for an extended period of time. I just cannot think of any better drug. I know some people use pramipexole. I've never tried pramipexole. The reason being is because I believe it was Greg Doucette who made a video saying that it too has a whole host of, try to stay out of this wind, a whole host of negative side effects. And you know, I'm basically a lifestyle bodybuilder. I'm not a pro bodybuilder. I'm not a competitive bodybuilder. So if I don't feel good while I'm doing it, it doesn't make sense. So definitely give it a shot. You know, while I'm talking about this, I guess it's worth mentioning that my appetite has improved, and I'm just feeling a lot better about where we're at in this cycle. You know, one of the things I was kind of getting down on myself in one of my previous videos about the fact that the weight wasn't moving very rapidly. Had some guys pile it on me in the comment section, which I admit, you know, I had that coming. I agree. I think it was Charles Dean, maybe. One of the guys said, you know, you care more about the way you feel on these drugs than growing on them because, you know, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You're not eating. And I just want you guys to understand, it's not about laziness, you know? It's not about like, yes, I meal prep. Actually, I don't meal prep. My wife meal preps for me. So I don't have to worry about making my own food, you know, preparing my own meals. She does all of that for me. It's not about that. It's about the fact that my particular genetic makeup, the reason I stay lean all year long is I do not want to eat. It's not even about wanting to eat. It's not like, you know, you don't want to mow the yard, but you go mow the yard because you need to. It's a factor I just can't. Like in my previous cycles, trying to gain lots of weight in a short amount of time, I have tried to blast through my body's own resistance to eating large amounts of food, and it just leads to vomiting every time. It's just like, what's the point? You know, you go through all this trouble to prep all these meals. You sit here and you shove more calories than your body apparently can digest down at once. And I've tried digestive aids. I've tried smaller meals. I've tried a lot of shit, guys. This is not like, you know, boohoo, I didn't want to eat meals and so I just gave up. Like I've been doing this shit for almost 4 years straight. Like it's a lot. So, it's not about just not wanting to eat. It's about the fact that I'm just not willing this time to try to push myself so hard that I'm vomiting. Not to mention the fact that my goal for this blast was only to get from like 193 to 200. I just want to be 200 pounds lean. And I'm happy to report that even on my current eating regimen, the weight has started moving again. So I'm up to a little under 197 at night, about 196 and a half. You know, it bounces around. You go to the bathroom, you drink some more water. So we're gonna call it 196. And so that's really a great place to be at this stage of the game. Like I have at least 10 weeks. I mean, more than that, let's be honest. I've got, fuck, I'm gonna go as long as I need to. And so I don't want to get fat. I mean, this is spring. This is the best part of the year. I want to have peeled abs on the beach or in the mountains or wherever we go to travel and have fun. And I just don't believe that you need to put on a bunch of fluff in order to be in an anabolic state and build muscle, especially when you're running growth hormone and tren and all this other shit. Like, why would I need to get fat to get big? Now, maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe I'll be back in 10 weeks and I'll still be stuck at 196, 197, and I'll regret having not force-fed myself more calories. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. So it's not about an unwillingness to eat, it's just that I have an unwillingness to get fat. And maybe it's all psychological. But right now, my weight has continued to go up while I have peeled all the weight off my love handles, my lower back, my abs. I'm struggling to find places in my, on my torso to pin the drugs that I use subcutaneously. I mean, obviously it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be in fat, but it feels better when there's a little fat underneath there. I'm getting very, very lean and still seeing the scale move. And so clearly I'm in a positive, anabolic state. So I think it's just really boils down to a difference in genetics, personality. A lot of you guys out there, can gain weight just looking at food. And I'm just not that way, which is obviously why I've been, very, very lean my entire life. So there you have it. Some other good news to report for those of you who've been following along with the little drama. Things at home also took a turn for the better last night. My wife is clearly a very understanding woman. I'm probably gonna make a whole video about this, so I don't wanna get into it too much right now, but we're getting along today. Had a good evening last night, went to the gym, got in a good arm day. And so feeling really good about that. Here comes the wind. And so I'll probably have some more content. I'm trying to keep this content banging, man. I'm trying to keep it coming out every single day, if not multiple times a day. But one of the things I need you guys to be understanding about is, I get the guys who get like, come on, man, produce more content. We want to hear more content. And then I produce something that's not about trend, and then nobody really cares about it. I mean, you guys have to understand, there has to be a happy middle ground. Like there's only so many cycles I can do in life. There's only so many drugs I can take. If I don't mix in some variable content along with the cycle updates, shit like that, then the channel's just gonna die. And I have too much fun doing this for that to happen. So hopefully you guys will bear with me and take a look at some of the different shit that I'm trying to produce. Probably gonna be some trend rants coming, because even though my wife and I are getting along, last day and a half or so, I mean, it's a struggle. Last night, fuck, my temper is so short. And so it could be popping off at any minute. Also, I don't know how many, not very many of you have seen the last video I put up titled, "My Wife Used Me Sexually." YouTube flagged it. I've never had one of my videos flagged. It wasn't even that graphic. But apparently it's like flagged as sensitive content, and you have to be able to click past some barrier. You have to be signed in, you gotta be 18. They won't give me my like $3 a video that I make. So if you get a chance, check that out. I thought it was kind of funny at the end, at least. But there you have it. So if you've never tried Cabergoline, obviously, again, this is not medical advice. I'm not a coach, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, but I've had very, very good experience with it. No negative side effects. The other thing is it crushes your refractory period. I would take Cabergoline for that alone. I know I've shot this video twice now, so I may be getting confused, but I know Tony Huge talks about this. He uses Cabergoline in higher doses so that he can just have sex, just back to back to back. I know those guys out in Thailand are getting crazy. So yeah, definitely check it out if you get the chance. Obviously, if you can get it legally, go to the doctor. It's definitely prescribable. And hopefully that will help you get some positive effects from your trend cycles. I think I might be, I'll save this for another video. I think I might be, because of the Cabergoline, be getting ready to throw some Deca or some MPP in on this cycle. I think I'll make a whole video about that. Because this one's well, you know what? Fuck it. I got a couple more minutes. I made a video the other day saying that I was looking for another compound to add to my cycle that would put some mass on when the anadrol ran out, when I could no longer take the anadrol. I've never taken two nandrolone drugs together because I've always read that it's very harsh on the body. I don't know exactly why that would be, but that's what I read. And I didn't like Deca or MPP in the past, I think primarily because of the fact that it causes these rises in prolactin, and I didn't know how to treat it before. So now that I know how to treat the prolactin, I'm thinking about throwing in like 300 milligrams on top of everything else. So like maybe I'll drop the anadrol at week 6, add in 300 to 600 milligrams of Deca or MPP, run that with the trend and the test, and see if maybe we can't get some more lean gains out of it. I know it's considered a wet compound, but I've never had any water retention running Deca, so I don't know what really causes that for other guys, but it definitely doesn't happen to me. So yeah, if you have any experience running Test, Tren, and DECA, or Test, Tren, and MPP, I would love to read your comments in the section below. Did that work for you? Was it miserable? Did you abandon the program? Did you blow up? Did you get your pro card? Did you kill your wife? You know, all the stuff we care about. So that'll be it for this video right here. I'll probably shoot another one today if I get a chance. And as always, protect the cycle, and we'll see you on the next one.